This looks familiar.
Welcome back to the little jewel. It's been outside for a while, out in the weather. It's winter here, like most of you know. It's just too small in the shop to have this gigantic thing with all the other projects going, so dried it up, took it back in here. We're going to talk a little bit about this supplemental airbag suspension that I'm arranging. Sort of an overload, sort of not. It kind of parallels the Zephyr in that it's a leaf spring arrangement, but it'll be supplemented by airbags should you want to adjust the ride height. So a lot's gone on here, so we're gonna go through all that. Unfortunately, we misplaced all the footage of this, but it's pretty straightforward.
Oops.
Yeah, so as we get into it, I want to take a little bit of time to talk about our wallets, right? Everybody's got one. So this is the typical thing, right? The fold-out leather wallet. I've had this since I was 12 years old. There's something better. This company reached out to me called Ridge, and they make this really unique product.
There's 30 plus colors and styles, including ceramic powder and leather.
Again, I'm a creature of habit, right? When I saw this, I was like, wait a second, that's a whole different take on what I've experienced. It's entirely different than anything I've ever seen in a wallet.
Ridge is celebrating their 11th anniversary and giving you up to 30% off. So go to ridge.com/fullcustomian to get their product and support the channel. Also, the durable material means each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. It expands to hold up to 12 cards, plus room for cash, remaining as slim as possible.
Cool little money clip. So, super interesting product. I can't wait to try it out. I've done a little bit of looking at it, and thanks to our sponsor for today, Ridge. So what happened here is this big tray of angle iron and plate. This is going to be a heavy truck. It's going to carry vehicles. So in keeping with the strength of the frame, the chassis, I got this 1/4-inch wall angle iron. You can see it looks like about 4x4, if not bigger. And then this heavy plate. On the axle side, I'm beginning this truss to support the lower part of the airbags. So today, just to get it to a point where we can test the bags, I'm going to plate in this area here so that it's strong. It's a big square shaped top on this curved axle shape. And if you look up top, and these are the airbags we're using. They're pretty substantial. If you're into cars, you know the airbags are usually about as big as the plate on this. So these are semi-truck airbags, and they will hold whatever we need. And that's what this bolt pattern is. You see I have these rods pushed through that are keeping the bolt holes aligned as I was setting up all the tack welding. So these units here are bolted to the chassis. They're basically locked in place by these notches, but there's no welding to the frame. So it's just this tray that's bolted in, similar to what the rivets on this chassis are doing. And in the words of a great fabricator, that ain't going nowhere. So a lot went into this, but you can see it's very straightforward. I'm going to make a couple templates, tack in these pieces, dropping airbags on the floor.
Whoops.
And get to work. So here we are under this mighty structure, which weighs a lot. So yeah, I've got these tire stands with a little shim. I got jack stands. I got a floor jack. So yeah, it's going to take a lot for this thing to fail and crush us. So just being extra careful. Also, one thing that we really haven't got into, hopefully I don't knock my eye out on this, we have these big super single tires, massive mega wide tires. So these are just rollers for now to get it in and out of the shop. So should look pretty cool in the end. What I was saying is we want to create a full flange across here and maybe a gusset to round out through this side. The bump stop, you see at this point it only has that much travel. So I'm thinking just to spread out this stress, a gusset coming as far out as I can without really interfering with that bump stop. So, in the way of standard template making, we're going to wing it. just to say, we're going to try to feel out the curve of this differential. It's coming in pretty close to that. Sure is.
You're getting good at this.
Yeah, after you make a couple 100 billion templates, you start to feel the flow.
Or the force, as you were going to say. I heard.
The floors. The floors.
I like that, the floors.
Somebody, if you look on Instagram, I don't know how long this will be back in the reels of Instagram, but I posted a thing about ham solo. And somebody said, "May the forks be with you." I mean, if you're not a Star Wars fan, can we even be friends? All right, even closer now. It's not going to bother me if there's a little bit of gap in the steel because we can weld, but that's darn close. We're going to come from the back side and mark that. Whoa, what did I draw there? There's another template being made. I think it's this one.
Oh my.
Let's hope it's right. Told you, fast and loose. It's the only way. I'm going to bet it's the right one.
It looks like it.
Bada bing.
Ooh, the floors work.
The force is with us. But what I was saying is, like, I want this to come down to here. So let's work on the template for this. Let's just say, rough it in. I think I'm going to leave it this big and then bump the weight of the truck. Just see how much of this area is going to interfere. So we're trying to just stay away from this contacting. And having it look kind of cool too. Basically, we're like that. We're like that. I'm going to tape them together. Oh boy. Dried out tape happens out here in the desert. Bada bing. Dress this up a wee bit. Pretty close. Yeah, that's a good starting point. I'm going to transfer this to steel and then fit it up with steel.
What are you doing?
I'll just fit this up and see how close. Yeah, reasonable. Just a little dressing up with the grinder. I'm thinking just come off with a nice little dropout like that. Just to start, maybe a little bit more. Cool, I'll just clean up this, especially right there. Cool, I'll do this on the belt sander. like that fit up. So I think it's going to go on the rear side as well. It's going to go back here. So I'm going to double that up. I'm going to make 2 of these. So it's interesting. Plasma cutting freehand is a lot like tattooing. I did that for a little while as well, and it's like everything has to do with your hand control. So you can see little waves in the cut, right? If you're doing a tattoo and you had that kind of line work, you'd be like, oh man, I want a refund. So it's just like templates do help. You can't go back and grind if you're tattooing. So it's a parallel when you have this machine and you're making an indelible mark. Something to think about. But we can grind this.
So what do those gussets do?
They gusset. Any
I
other
must have
questions?
missed that somewhere in the video.
Well, you see this a lot on lowriders. You see it on 4x4 trucks. When there's a tremendous amount of push on the axle, you'll want to gusset it for strength. But you can see how close the weight of the truck is to the tire, right? It's way in here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're lifting it from the center, the potential for this area to break, see, you'll be pushing right here. So it spreads out the load closer to where it's intended to be supported by. But like on King of the Hammers trucks, like you saw, those things are just getting mauled. So they just try to make them as strong as possible. And lowriders, with the 3-wheel motion and the hopping, there's a lot of stress put on the axles. So, gusset.
I love it.
What you didn't see was I actually have 4 of those now instead of just 1. So let's get right to the welding.
TV magic.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's wondering, where's Blue? He's in the fence.
In the house. We're having some dog drama up in here.
Oh my God. Blue has legs for days, and he knows how to hop the fence, and he just wants to be with his mom and dad. But
his new partner is a bit bossy, shall we say. She just stepped in and took right over.
she did. So he's needing some extra support and loving from...
Between his Lil and now Shadow, he's like, where's my man support?
He needs his mom and dad. Poor kid. She did, boy. He was back there chasing her, and she's like, rah, rah, rah.
He stepped right in.
Like, no.
All right, I'm going to hop underneath and start the welding. I'm just going to tack weld all this stuff in just to save the monotony of the welding. And I'm eventually going to close all these doors, keep the wind down. But I want to get to fitting up those airbags. So let me shut this door.
I have to be honest.
Why?
I have to be honest.
Why?
I forgot all about the airbags. Trying to get Blue to stay in the fence so you can work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ian and I, we have this funny like joke that we have Jamie and Ianisms. So Ian's is, what's yours?
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Like totally for sure.
And mine is, what's mine? I'm just being honest.
To be honest.
To be honest.
TBH.
What other Jamie?
To be totally honest.
What other Jamie and Ianisms do you guys hear? We want to know in the
know.
comments.
I can't help it.
Me either. Everyone has an ism. It's just funny when you're on film like this.
When we watch the edit, I'm like, damn, dude, how many times are you going to say, oh, yeah, totally.
For sure. And me, to be honest, because you know.
All right, if you know anything about working on vehicles, you're going to be welding some cramped quarters. So here we are.
Welding and cramped quarters.
Heavy duty. You can see it's a lot more substantial. You can see how the structure will be pushing more onto the axle as if this needs any strength, right? But you'll see how the airbags sit up there. Take these two rods off, we'll fit them up.
That is a lot of hardware. I called it the right thing, didn't I?
It ain't no coin slots. That's hardware. I don't know what we're gonna need to put these in, so I grabbed everything I could. I grabbed a fistful of anything. All right, so looks like that. It's gonna go downstairs like that. We're gonna have to separate. We're gonna have to lift the chassis and get some room in there, I think. Unless I can squeeze it. Ooh, look at that. Without that fitting, it might go. It might. Come on.
Oh,
You know what the old saying is? If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
true.
Huh. Yeah, look, the holes line up. Howdy doody.
I just saw Howdy Doody's face when you said that. When you said Howdy Doody, I just saw his face. My mom loved Howdy Doody when she was a little girl.
Oh, I imagine.
Like, loved some Howdy Doody. She had a Howdy Doody watch.
Ooh.
I think she still has it, actually. What?
I wonder if your mom would like Captain Spaulding.
I don't know who that is.
He has a little saying that's Rudy Tooty.
Fresh and Fruity?
Something like
Is
that.
that where it comes from?
Captain Spaulding is the clown in Rob Zombie's movie.
Oh. And she probably does not know who that is.
Probably.
All right, if
Go
I
ahead,
had to
look it up.
guess. Sandy, if you're watching this,
Don't watch Rob Zombie's movie or even listen to anything Captain Spaulding has to say. Please.
don't, Sandy. Don't do it.
Don't subject yourself to the mire that I've subjected myself to. So these aren't exactly set in just perfect, so I'm going to inflate them and they should just pop right into place. These will have a T-fitting once they're plumbed correctly, but let's just see if they don't set into place. Hear that? Set into place. Yeah. Almost. I really put some pressure to it. We're getting there. I'm going to set up something so I'm not putting my face right there. I might even be able to put a T on here. Let me see. So this hose might just go and pop off, but let's just see what happens.
I'm all the way back here.
Yeah.
Your whole audience is waiting with bated breath.
So it's not going to lift the truck a lot because these leaf springs are super strong. As I mentioned, it's an overload if you put tremendous weight on it, but it should shimmy a little bit. On second thought, maybe it'll lift it up.
Ooh.
There you go. It works. Well, howdy doody. Let's put in the other one. Yeah, that's set right into place. That's all it needed was a good amount of air pressure.
Ian, we got to go to the lowrider show.
Mm.
This makes me think of all the lowriders in that Huell Hauser episode.
Yes, it does.
Like, we got to go.
Yes, we do.
We got to find out when it is.
That's a
Ian and I
lot.
try to visit car shows incognito.
Let's see what happens on this side. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna work. There you have it. Groovy. Well, nobody said it was gonna be exciting, but progress was made. Airbags are installed. Hopefully we can get back onto this a little more regularly, but nice to have it in the shop and make a little progress. For those that don't know, been through quite a journey so far, but it's going to be a flatbed car carrier with that awesome cab over style cab.
Yeah,
So
let's go out there and just look at little Jewel for new viewers that are with us.
her face is off.
It's okay.
This is over a year ago we got this truck.
It was our first project.
We
for
went through some
YouTube.
snafus, but we're getting closer. Yeah, sitting out in the weather.
Surface rust.
Minor surface.